Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hat Trick Sports Talk. We are doing an NFL schedule release special for you all today. I am with, as always, Brandon. Shane
Woo.
couldn't join us today, but here's Brandon. How you doing, man?
I'm good. It's always nice to get another step towards the promised land of football.
Yes, absolutely. And the schedule release is a big part, of course, of the NFL. And of course, we do need to mention that this is all built on flexibility due to the situation. So with this, we're going to act as if the season does start on September 10th.
And one thing I think we should talk about before we talk about the actual schedule is Adam Schefter tweeted out that the NFL has put in place a series of rules to make sure that the NFL season will be played in full, no matter how far they have to push it back.
Interesting. Well, I think that
Um,
would be the best thing to do.
yeah, they put out a series. I believe it was Adam Schefter who tweeted it out, but
Mhm.
basically the NFL announced that they have put together contingencies into it to make sure
That we have a full season.
that that there's a full season. One of the contingencies is that any game played after week 2, if the season was delayed starting,
Mm-hmm.
those games would then get placed at the end of the season to be played after week 17.
Which would make a lot of sense, yeah.
Um, and
I,
basically, it also said any week can be opening week, uh, and the Super Bowl is supposed to be played on the 7th of February. However, it can be pushed back indefinitely as far as they need to.
with the flexibility it needs, yeah.
Basically, the point they're making is that they are going to get a full season of football in come hell or high water.
Right. It says, consider this option. Say, this is from ESPN, their NFL page. It says, consider this option. Say the start of the season has been pushed back 4 weeks. Again, this is not the league's plan or what it wants. It's a hypothetical. Then the NFL can simply push the Super Bowl back 4 weeks, and it can take regular seasons 1 through 4 and turn them into essentially week 18, 19, 20, and 21.
Which I think is
So,
a smart way
right.
of going about things.
It's really smart, and I love that they want to make sure they. So here's what the NFL is hoping for. The NFL wants the season to be played with fans as normal, and
Yeah.
by doing this, by saying we want flexibility, and this is why the NFL is, because of the position that they're in, where the off season is when this pandemic starts going crazy. They're in this position to do this, to have this flexibility.
And they're also in a position where hypothetically they can believe that the uh, pandemic may have wound down by the time to a point that it's safe for them to
Right.
start training camp and preseason games by the point that they usually would.
Right.
Um, and again, realistically, they could play a season starting just without any training camp or any
Right, because they're
whatever.
doing the virtual workouts anyway, right? And what's the point of a preseason in general in this
Yeah.
situation? So,
However, the problem I find though that I think a lot of teams will have, a lot of teams will lose out on keeping players that could end up being surprise stars
right, in
if
the
there's no preseason
56 man,
games.
right? Yeah.
Because preseason games, we've argued about preseason games, and at the end of the day, all that preseason games are there for is for teams to be able to find diamonds in the rough.
Right, for the bottom end of, I believe
Yeah,
it's 56 now, but I'm
yeah,
not going to confirm that because I think it's a
but
little bit more.
we'll see.
The Pro Bowl could be dropped. So, I
Yeah,
mean, who cares about the Pro Bowl? Um, so, yeah.
there's also some very interesting primetime games scheduled for this
Yes.
year,
So
but we'll
we're
get
going
into
to,
that.
we will get into that. Let me just close this. All right. You can see my screen, correct?
Yes.
All right, here we go. I'm sure all of you can see your screen if you're watching this on YouTube.
So this is week 1.
Week 1, we're going to go week by week, and then we'll go to some individual teams. So we start Thursday, September 10th on NBC, the Texans and the Chiefs. What are the expectations? What are the expectations for the Texans without DeAndre Hopkins? That's my first question with this matchup.
I feel like this matchup is going to follow the trend that has happened for the last couple of years where, frankly, it's usually a pretty solid beatdown by the incoming Super Bowl champions
Right.
on whoever. Because if you think about it, they usually get fed someone pretty easy.
Most times.
I mean, a couple of years ago, the Patriots got fed a pretty rough Green Bay team.
Right.
And the Seahawks, I believe, I forget who we played, but that was an easy win for us.
Right.
And,
they make it so that it seems like it's a good matchup, but strategically it is easier for the team that won the Super Bowl, especially considering they're at home as well.
Yeah. I do believe the Texans, though, even without DeAndre Hopkins, they have proven to be a pretty decent team at times.
Right.
So it could be and the Chiefs, to be honest, did not play at the 2017 level last year in terms of offense and defense.
Right.
So it could, you never know. It could be a pretty good game.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting to see how much is on Deshaun Watson's plate, especially facing Patrick Mahomes. And now they added Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's going to be battling for that running back spot. So they got a good two-headed monster there. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. So he's going to have to keep up with that offense because I'm not sure the defense is going to do much for him. So it should be quite interesting for sure.
True.
All right. So now we're going to the Sunday slate. What jumps out of you here from the 10 o'clock and 4:25 window?
First off, I see Pats Dolphins. I think just for me,
Pats Viking. Oh yeah, Pats Dolphins.
I think is going to be very interesting because it's going to be the first glance at the Patriots. Sans Tom Brady.
Right.
Sans Sans Garoppolo, not Garoppolo. Gronkowski, even though he didn't play last year, but I honestly think this could be a message-sending game for the Dolphins. Like, I think they could, if they come out hot and they come out playing well, they could smack the Pats, send a message and be like, the Patriots are no longer the top dog. I think that would send ripple effects to the league.
Yeah, absolutely. You would normally think of this as one of those matchups that isn't that important. But when you're looking at where the Patriots are at with Jared Stidham, we don't know how that's going to look. And the Dolphins are probably going to start Ryan Fitzpatrick at this game.
Yeah.
But the Dolphins played hard last year. So even if Ryan Fitzpatrick is starting, they have a chance to at least maybe get 5-6 wins. This could be the game where that starts for sure.
Because you remember the Dolphins this is also sort of a rivalry game because the last time the Dolphins and the Pats had a little bit of a face-off, the Dolphins played spoiler.
Yep, right.
Which, I mean, it's also, you have to remember, this could suck for the Patriots because if the Patriots lose to the Dolphins to start, they then have to come to Seattle in week 2 for Sunday Night Football.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
A rainy, cold, hyped up crowd, Seattle. Ready to beat up on some Patriots.
We will get to that game. Packers, Vikings as well is interesting. The NFC North this year is going to be just, oh man, it's going to be so good. The Lions are pretty good. The Bears always have interesting matchups in this division. The Vikings, Kirk Cousins just got the contract extension. This, I think, is a make-or-break year for Kirk Cousins. And then you got the whole Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers. So any matchup that the NFC North teams play is going to be very interesting. And we got 2 here with the Packers and the Vikings and the Bears and the Lions. But more importantly, Packers, Vikings.
For me, I guess I'll give 2 more games, I guess, for me on Sunday that I'm going to be checking out. Saints-Bucks, I think will be interesting.
My God. That's my favorite one.
That could be an offensive masterpiece. Think
It's
about
going to
it.
be amazing.
It's going to be just high flying, fast running. It's going to be beautiful.
I'm so mad that's not the Sunday night game here,
Oh, it
man.
should be the Sunday
It
night
should
football
have
game.
been. It
Why,
should be.
why is the Cowboys-Rams the first
Well,
Sunday night
it's
football game of the
because
year?
the Rams are playing in their new stadium.
Yeah.
But they could have just
Will
done
they,
that
though?
on Monday
They
night.
won't, though. They will not. Because
Oh
have you not
God.
heard?
I know.
The mayor of LA has said they refuse to let teams play until there's through the end of September, I think.
Yeah,
So it'll be interesting.
I don't know, but Bucks, we're gonna get the first look at this Tom Brady, Bruce Arians offense. I really want to see how this offense looks. And the Saints, man, this is the year, man. They have to get to a Super Bowl this year because this is probably Drew Brees' last year.
Not like Drew Brees needs another Super Bowl to be a Hall of Famer, but
right. But this is like, this is it, right? You cannot have any more playoff.
I also think another game that'll be interesting, just as a kind of a look to the future and what things might be, is Chargers Bengals. You'll have
Burrow
starting, possibly have
probably gonna have Tyrod Taylor over Herbert, but I hope it is Herbert.
You'll have a new look Chargers. That'll be interesting. There's a lot of interesting games. And
Cardinals, Niners,
49ers.
Oh my goodness! I can't wait.
I don't have a lot of faith that the Cardinals this year can take out the 49ers, but I will sure enjoy watching Garoppolo run for his life.
Well, I will also say this, man. Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins is going to be a fantasy showcase with those two.
Yeah.
But to see that offense go up against a really good Niners defense, even without losing DeForest Buckner, I can't wait for.
I'm just going to say this. I think the Niners have a very low chance of going 8-0 to start the season again.
They're not going to go 8-0 to start the season, but they probably are going to get like 6 wins, maybe.
Yeah.
We can definitely look more closely at their schedule towards the end.
Once again, the Monday Night Football games are kind of trash.
Why are the Monday Night Football games bad to start the season, minus the Texans and the Saints last year?
I don't know.
Cowboys, Rams, okay. I mean, I'm really interested to see how the Rams look, but other than that, it's not that interesting.
Steelers, Giants.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we'll probably get some big we survived the coronavirus thing in New York.
Right. I will also say the Titans-Broncos might be pretty good because you got Ryan Tannehill. Can they make it back to an NFC title game? And then Drew Lock and the Broncos with all those new weapons.
Yep.
So that could be pretty interesting. Okay, week 2. Here we go. Week 2, Bengals-Browns, the first NFL network.
Well, that's a Thursday night game if I ever saw one.
That's like the quintessential Thursday night game.
But we say it's a Thursday night game, but these are both teams that have been quote unquote on the up and up.
They are to a degree. I mean, you got Joe Burrow, as we talked about, but the Browns, man, Odell Beckham has said that this is the year he's going to pop.
I still think the Browns are gonna put the smack down on the Bengals.
How many wins do you give the Browns this year? 9 and 7?
See, it really depends. Like last year, you remember from the beginning of the year trashed on them.
I was not on them either. I was not.
I'm going to say I'm not on them again this year. I don't care that they have a new coach. I don't care that they still have all their good players. They still are not a cohesive team.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I don't think they're even going to make the playoffs. Straight up.
I don't think so either. I really don't.
I think they're going to be at best 9 and 7.
There's too much talk. Even this offseason with Odell being like, this is my year and all these reports.
Talk. You know what the difference is between teams like Seattle, 49ers, Saints, Patriots in their prime, Eagles in their prime, Cowboys. They had quarterbacks who walked the walk and didn't talk the talk because they didn't need to talk. They just threw the ball and won games. Exactly.
All right, the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock slates. What jumps out at you here?
This is a little bit of a
downturn,
a weaker week, but
Ravens Texans 4:25 on CBS, or obviously going Eastern time here, but that should be quite interesting. As a late window game to keep an eye on.
Vikings Colts could be interesting.
It definitely could be. Jacoby Brissett.
Maybe.
This is not that great. Panthers Bucks is one I also want to highlight because Teddy Bridgewater against Tom Brady. I really want to see how Teddy fits into the system. We're obviously going to see a lot more of Christian McCaffrey than Teddy Bridgewater, but I'm still really interested.
You know what just popped out to me? Ravens Texans.
Right, that's what I just said earlier. Yeah, yes.
Two quick quarterbacks, just throwing the ball.
Right, it's going to be a offensive showcase. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's probably the one game. Ravens Texans is the key one, and then Patriots Seahawks. Now I get it if this is Tom Brady. But it's Jared Stidham. Like, I get it's kind of a rivalry and all this stuff. I don't really get why this is a Sunday night game at all. You're laughing because
I'm laughing because on paper this should be a beatdown. Like, I'm sorry, but the Patriots, for the first time in a long time, they have nothing to prove to me that they are going to be the dominant team.
Max, they get what, 9 wins?
Yeah, like I Seahawks. I hope the Seahawks don't come into this game being cocky. I mean, I doubt they will because Pete Carroll doesn't let them be cocky, but they surely should win this game by at least 10, like
maybe 17.
I
just don't. I think if this was last year, we would all be like, "Oh my God, one of the best games of the year."
Oh, this would have been an amazing Sunday Night Football game for week 2.
This is not like any Patriots game that pops out at you. You just go, "Oh, it's Stidham." Like, I don't know.
Right.
It's not that interesting.
And then Saints Raiders.
Vegas opening night. Saints Raiders.
I thought Raiders had opening night first week.
I think it's second week. They open in Monday night.
But yeah,
I will say the Raiders. I want to see if Mariota does start a game. Do you think he starts a game or two this year over Derek Carr?
I do, because Gruden has just shown that he has, in my opinion, a very unwarranted hatred for Carr.
Oh, I think everyone agrees that it's pretty ridiculous that he's not into Carr.
Carr is way better than he gives credit for.
Absolutely, 100%.
I saw him make some pretty crazy throws last year.
Right. He's very capable, and he's a franchise quarterback. So I think
what's going to happen is Carr's going to get traded somewhere, and they're going to regret it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But Mariota got a huge bag for being a backup, so he definitely needs to start at some point this year, whether we agree with it or not. I'm
going to be interested to talk to Shane about that at some point, because Shane said in the past that he's not a huge Mariota fan.
Right. He's watched him in college, and he was never really big on him, as he talked about in the past.
Yeah.
All right, week three. Week 3, here we go. Dolphins-Jags. Dolphins-Jags? What's with... I mean, this is the NFL Network one, right? So this is the NFL Network game, so they're not necessarily supposed to be that great, but, like, if Tua's not in this game, does it really matter? Like, I don't know.
I mean, I'll watch it because it's football.
Right. Right. I mean, I'll watch every game anyway.
Okay,
but
so what's good on here?
Sunday. Cowboys-Seahawks should be fun. Cowboys-Seahawks, I think, is actually going to be quite fun.
I think it'll be fun just because there's a lot of storylines there. And over the last couple of years, the Seahawks and Cowboys have kind of had a little bit of a rivalry built up.
Yep.
Bucks-Broncos.
Let's see. Titans-Vikings should be fun as well.
I think Titans-Vikings is the best level game of the year, of the season, or of the week.
Yeah. Texans-Steelers. Now, I do want to ask, I mean, we'll get to this maybe more a little bit later because I know the Steelers have a few primetime games, of course, but Big Ben Roethlisberger, right? I'm sure he'll be 100% healthy. Do you think the Steelers have a shot to get to the playoffs with Big Ben being back there?
So I think a lot of it comes down to how the other teams in that division play. Because honestly, I could see that division having an outcome like the 2009 NFC West, where you had one team that was good but bad at the same time.
Right.
They beat the rest of the teams in that division and sucked the rest, and all the other teams sucked, but they also sucked.
Yeah.
So they had a losing record but still made it in. I think the Steelers, to me, is on my list of teams that I have no idea why they still get so much hype.
I mean, it's the franchise, man. It's the Steelers.
That doesn't mean they should get so much hype. I don't care about franchise. I care about how they are at the right now.
But also the Big Ben storyline and how James Conner is going to rebound from all those injuries. Can Juju play a lot better this year? Just
Yeah.
offensively alone, this team has so many storylines
Like,
to talk
for
about.
me, frankly, if the Browns got good next year, I would be like, yeah, they're going to win a lot of games because they're good.
Right.
Not because they're the Browns. Like, I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like the
Do you mean the
Steelers are just
Steelers are looking at the Browns specifically with that?
Steelers. I
Yeah.
mean, just looking at that type of at the team as a
Right. The
I don't
the
look at the
division.
franchise. I look at the team.
Right.
And I think they're just kind of in the middle, as I thought they were last year. They're just a middling team because they didn't do much to them.
Well, I think with the Steelers specifically, Minka Fitzpatrick was excellent last year. He was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. I think if Big Ben gets this offense together, they win about 11 games and make the playoffs.
Really? Because I just don't think Big Ben is really that great of a quarterback anymore.
I understand, but like I want to see how Big Ben plays week 1, week 2, like early on in the season.
Yeah.
If he plays like Big Ben, this team's making the playoffs, no question.
Yeah.
It's all on him. It really is.
What's the Sunday night football game?
Bears Falcons should be fun. Sunday night is Packers Saints. That is great. That is great. But Monday night's even better.
The Chiefs and Ravens play each other with a week in between their games.
I know, man. That game's gonna be crazy.
That's insane.
But let's start with the Packers and the Saints first. I want to also ask about the Packers defense, right? At the start of last year, they were really, really just incredible, and then they kind of fell off. How much is the defense going to be a key for the Packers to maybe find a way to Super Bowl with a aggravated Aaron Rodgers, who's certainly going to go off next year because he's just going to be pissed off?
Well, frankly, I don't think the Packers have that good of a defense because, yes, they started out well, but you saw their game against the Seahawks.
Right.
That defense nearly gave away the game.
Right. I think at the beginning of the year, especially when they played the Bears on opening night, we were like, oh, God. And then they finished like 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to see them start fast and finish fast defensively. If they can be a top 5 defense, like, do you remember the Packers when they won the Super Bowl? What was it, 2010, the first time, or the only time Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl? Why was Aaron Rodgers able to get to the Super Bowl that year? Defense.
Yeah.
They have to have a good defense this year. Absolutely. 100%. And then Chiefs-Ravens, offensive showcase here. What do you expect from Lamar Jackson in 2020?
Well, he claims he's not going to run the ball as much.
I don't
believe that.
No.
Because the playbook is literally drawn up
for him to run.
For him to be able to decide to either throw it or tuck it and run.
Yeah.
It's like a planned Russell Wilson playbook. Like they looked at Russell and they were like, instead of him like saving a broken down play, it's like a plan.
Right.
But here's my problem with that, right? And I've said this many times. If people have listened to the podcast, they can hear it. They know what I'm going to say. I'm a broken record. I know. He will get hurt if he keeps running like he is. There were many times this year where I saw him nearly get freight trained by like multiple linebackers.
I don't feel the same way as you and Shane do with him. I think he's really smart with the football. I also think last year he took great strides in his ability to throw the ball. So I think that he's slowly but surely every offseason working to become a more complete player and more durable so he doesn't have as many injuries. I think he'll look at this in this offseason and go, yeah, I took some really dumb hits. Let's change that around a little bit. I think he's one of the few young players in the league. I know this is a strange offseason, so you might not entirely see it this year, but what he does better than most young players in the league is he's always thinking about ways to get better. And you saw that not only with his running ability last year, but more importantly, his throwing ability. And I think you guys are right in the sense that that next step has to be, how do I become more durable? How do I avoid injuries?
Yeah.
While also improving his passing game.
And I also think he'll end up like looking at guys like Russell Wilson and seeing how they went from being guys who ran a lot, like he. One thing with Russell Wilson is when he was starting out in his first 2 or 3 years, he had times where he could have thrown the ball for a deep bomb for a touchdown, but he decided to just take off and run and put himself in a situation where there were times where I like Russell, like, don't run, throw.
Right.
I think, as you said, with Lamar developing his arm and his accuracy, I think as his career goes on, he'll transition out of that run to throw with still having the run as a threat, just like Russell Wilson is doing. Because Russell he throws the ball, but he still makes it clear to defenders that you have to respect the run with him.
Here's the biggest thing that we've learned in the NFL with the quarterback position the last 5 years. You cannot be a Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson type player your whole career. Once you get to year 5, you have to understand how important it is to stay in the pocket and make the key throw to win a game. Yeah. Right?
And I would argue that Russell has gotten better at throwing the ball as the season gone. Hell, last year, I think was his best year throwing the ball.
Right. I mean, even if you look at guys like, let's look at another guy who came into the league, as a thrower, but also as a runner. Patrick Mahomes, too, right? He realized, like, I have a strong arm. I can run, right? Because I'm a young player. I can figure out how to run, but I also can throw the ball. And him being two-dimensional also was a tremendous key to why the Chiefs won the championship last year.
Yeah, and I think the Ravens, frankly, are gonna probably at some point in the next couple of years win a Super Bowl. Because
no doubt.
And it'll show you the trend. Seahawks, Chiefs, Ravens. What do they all have in common? They have kind of a thrown together wide receiver team that turns out to be really good, with a great quarterback that can run and throw the ball, and started out being more run than throw, and transitioned into a pretty all-around, like, really good quarterback who knows when to run and knows when to throw, prefers to stay in the pocket now, but can keep the play going, and has a really good defense.
Right.
That is
defensive
what the NFL is now.
Defensive line, more particularly, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because the Ravens have that, the Chiefs had that last year.
And the Seahawks had it when they won it.
Right. I mean, they were more secondary, right? So it's a little bit different.
It was still a pretty strong defensive line when they won it, but it was not the focus.
In the last 3 to 4 years, the teams, especially like the Chiefs, even the Broncos when they won it, like, these teams now understand offensive line, defense. You have the quarterback, offensive line, defensive line, and then we figure out the rest with the pieces that we have.
And like the Pats, when they won all theirs, they always had just dominant offensive lines.
Right. I wasn't too big on the Pats' offensive lines, but it was Brady throwing the ball very, very quickly too, which helped out tremendously.
That's true.
All right, let's move on to Week 4. Week 4, Broncos, Jets. Let's talk about the Jets here, right? Sam Darnold, Le'Veon Bell didn't have a great year last year. What does Adam Gase and this offense need to change to take the next step?
Well, we talked about the during the draft. I was high on their drafting of their offensive tackle,
Mekhi
Becton. I think he's going to complete. I know one man will not change an entire football team, but as we both agreed, opening up a hole to run through will change the football team, because I believe that now that they have someone who can start kind of creating some running room for Le'Veon Bell, I think that's going to change the Jets a lot. I think they should switch it up. They should try not to throw it all the time. But if they can give him the running room, let him run. He can still run. The man is a Pro Bowl running back. Like,
the man's an Oprah running back still in my mind.
Just let him run. Like, I don't care.
Figure out a way to give him an O-line to let him run, and Mekhi Becton's probably the perfect guy to do that.
Yeah.
With the Jets, I mean, I feel like they're always a team that every year I think to myself, man, if they just put it all together, they can make the playoffs and they can do some damage. They have pieces, defensive line, linebackers. C.J. Mosley's going to be back this year. If they just put it all together, they can be a really solid team, especially with Brady out of that division.
I 100% agree with you because there were games last year. There was one game last year. I forget who they were playing, but it was a home game, and like Darnold was just throwing deep, dashing like touchdowns, like left and right. And like I was looking at their wide receiver core, I was like, wow, like this team on offense looks good, but then they would have other games where they just looked like crap. And it's like you put a couple pieces in there to give Darnold the time, they could be great. And that was
And
what I was happy about with their draft this year.
let's not forget, you got Jamison Crowder still there. I hope Chris Herndon is healthy. We haven't seen Herndon play in like 2 years, but we know he's a good player. They have options, but every year, like for the last 5 years, I'm always like, the Jets have a roster that on paper can do some damage, and they just haven't. And I know Adam Gase isn't the perfect coach. I think you and I agree that hire was still absolutely bizarre. But even with that, I think the talent has to get him far one of these years, and maybe this is the year.
I mean, look, if you can get to the AFC Championship game with freaking butt fumble man himself, I think you can do some damage with the team you have.
Yep. All right, here's the 1 o'clock and 4:25 slate. What jumps out at you here?
Probably Saints Lions. Probably.
Yeah,
that could be interesting.
So let's talk about the Lions, right? I think we all were, especially Shane and I, when we talked about this last year, we were very impressed with the Lions early on in the season, right? Matthew Stafford was absolutely slinging the ball around. Defensively, they look good. Matt Patricia's got the right direction going with this team. And if Matthew Stafford stays healthy, this team can put it all together.
My fear is that the Lions' high-up brass is not going to give Patricia the time he needs to really put it together, which is something that bothers me a lot about upper echelon people in team organizations, is they don't give coaches the time to turn it around and start putting the pieces in place. Teams don't change just like that with a new organization, a new coach, new whatever.
GM, whatever. The Lions with Matt Patricia, I think we can both agree, is that case where I think this is the year. We saw it at times last year where it's like, if Stafford stays healthy, this team can really put it together and be good.
And I've always believed that Stafford is better than people give him credit for.
Last year we saw it in tenfold last year.
Yeah.
Right. So I think this is the year where if Patricia can put it all together, I think they're gonna be great. Honestly, I think they're gonna surprise a lot of people this year for sure.
What do you think about the Sunday Night Football game, Eagles 49ers?
Eagles 49ers. I love this, man. I'm so excited to watch the Niners next year. I think they're gonna be really good. DeForest Buckner, I still am like frustrated with that to some degree. I get for cap reasons, but this defensive line is still fantastic. This team basically brought almost all their pieces back. I mean, the running back, they got rid of one of them, fine, whatever. Who cares, right? They have a plethora of them. Garoppolo, I wish that we didn't – I wish that we get to week 6 of next year and we just go, yeah, he's the guy, right? I mean, they made the Super Bowl last year, but all last year we're just like, 1 week he's good, 1 week he's not. Like, can we finally, I guess this is more in the media, but can we finally be consistent with saying, hey, Garoppolo's the guy? Because they got to the Super Bowl, man. They got to the Super Bowl. We need to start saying that he's the guy.
They got to the Super Bowl, but they did not get to the Super Bowl on Garoppolo's dime. They got to the Super Bowl. Dude, they got to the Super Bowl on Garoppolo playing like shit half the time. They got to this. They played in the Super Bowl, and he played like shit. That is the worst I've seen a quarterback play in a long time in a Super Bowl. You have to admit. Goff played pretty bad, but Garoppolo played like shit. He did not have it. He did not have a single down in that game that made me think he was in control.
No,
he always looks like he's like upset or like pissed off, or he's like not leading his team.
Here's what I'm saying. Here's all I'm saying. I plead to Kyle Shanahan. Let Garoppolo throw the football. All playoffs, they ran it. Who cares? Who cares if you're up by 20 to the Packers? Let him throw. And they finally let him throw in the Super Bowl, and look what happened. He wasn't confident. Why? Because they didn't let him throw. I've been on this all off season, all after the Super Bowl. I said this from the beginning, and you guys were like, no, they're winning. Who cares? This is why it matters. From week one, I want to see.
I said they should throw it. I agreed with you during the playoffs. Like you don't. It's a psychological game half the time. Like
it's from week one. I want to see Garoppolo throw the ball 30+ times a game, please.
Didn't he get picked off though, like 3 times in week 1 or something? I remember there was a game where he got like picked off a bunch and like early in the season.
Let him throw and let him gain confidence, and then once you get to the playoffs, continue to do that, please.
All I know is 49ers Seahawks at any point in the season is going to be a war.
Oh my God!
Yeah. I have not seen the beef between these two teams, these fan bases, be this like violent since like the 2013 season.
Oh man, it's great. It's excellent. It's by far the best rivalry in the NFL. I don't think there's a question. Best division, best rivalry, no doubt.
And it's frustrating because the 49ers are showing the same dominance that the Seahawks showed the year after they went to the Super Bowl, except we won.
This is going to be crazy.
Eagles, I think, are going to be pretty good, though.
Yeah, man. Carson Wentz, they got him a little bit of a receiver talent.
Quarterback.
So here's my question with Jalen Hurts. Do you see him like out wide, coming in certain packages?
I mean, he's fast enough.
Right. Like that's what I'm thinking. But also, if Carson Wentz gets injured this year,
they're screwed.
I mean, I wonder how Jalen Hurts is going to play, man. I really wonder. I hope that's not the case. But if it is, it's really interesting.
I personally believe that no quarterback should start their first season.
I understand that, but I think Jalen Hurts is in a unique position where if he has to play at any point, he'll be ready.
I do believe he'll be ready, because I think out of a lot of the quarterbacks, when you watched him play, he showed a lot of poise, a lot of confidence, a lot of ability. But it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And then Falcons Packers, I couldn't really care less about.
So Falcons, right? I
don't know why the Falcons are in prime time.
Here's the thing with the Falcons. We are all confused, are we?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the most confusing team in the NFL. Every other team we get a grip on, but the Falcons. They kept Dan Quinn. I still don't know why. They played good down the stretch. Why? Like, they need to play good they did towards the end of the year.
They knocked off a couple contending teams last year.
They knocked off the Niners.
They beat the Niners. I remember watching that and be like, wait, what? Like,
and they played the Seahawks pretty well, I believe, as well.
Yeah, they did.
Here's the thing. Can they please play like that all year?
Like
Can we not have injuries?
They took the Hawks to the wire in week, I don't know, I think it was the middle of the week of the season, but I remember it was during the time where it was like, why did the Seahawks just get taken to the wire by the freaking Falcons?
Look, they need to play like that all year and not have injuries on the defensive side like they had 2-3 years ago.
Also, but here's the thing: people were saying there were rumors going around that their quarterback was injured. And they weren't saying anything about it.
Oh, Ryan? I didn't hear too much about that.
There were rumors that went around I think it was near the beginning of through the first couple weeks of the season, that Ryan was playing with some sort of injury. And it was a minor injury, but it was an injury that was throwing him off his game. Now, maybe that's just an excuse, or maybe it was real.
I don't know, man. They got to put it together. They're the team that we sit here and go, they can be good. But, my God, we just don't know what they're doing.
Jets and Falcons, for me, are the two teams that could be great.
Right. Let's go week 5. Fox schedule now.
Buccaneers, Bears.
Good
luck with that, Bears.
Here's the thing. Nick Foles. Everyone's saying that he'll probably start week 1. And I mean, here's the thing. The Bears didn't extend Trubisky's 5th-year option. The Trubisky era is over, is it not?
Oh, he's done there.
It's over.
Yeah.
This is it. It's over.
And that's something interesting to think about, the fact that there was literally, 2 years ago, we were like, oh my God, Trubisky, he's so good. He's amazing.
We were like, he has potential, and then he kind of fell off.
He kicked the crap out of the Seahawks. But let's be honest, that season was not a very good season for the Seahawks.
Yeah. I just personally feel as though I think it's time to move on. I think it's over. Like I don't even get why. I mean, the contract's pretty expensive for them to trade him, but this is it. It's the Nick Foles era. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. It probably won't. It's yeah. I think
it's not like Foles has anyone to work with there.
Well, I mean, I think Allen Robinson's going to have a pretty good year. You got Tariq Cohen. You got, good running back crew there. But defensively, this team should make the Super Bowl every year, it feels like. Because, this defense is excellent.
Yeah, but you got to score points.
You got to score points, man. You got to score points. And I don't think Foles or Trubisky can do that, unfortunately. Let's go through the 1 o'clock slate here as well.
Cardinals Jets could be interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's see. Eagles, Steelers,
Bills Titans.
Ooh yeah, Bills Titans should be fun. Let's talk about the Bills as well. You got Stephon Diggs now.
Bills are going to be deadly this year.
They're going to be really nice. Josh Allen, I think, is going to take another big step in his game. And this team looked really great last year. They started off, 7 wins?
I legit thought the Bills were going to be the team to go to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Last year. They played so well for so long, and then they, just really let it kind of slip. And
you feel like the Stephon Diggs move can really put them over the hump?
Yeah, I do. I believe it gives them that one big play guy that they needed. And I believe Stephon Diggs, he's still good. He really wanted out of Minnesota. I mean, it was pretty obvious he wanted out. And so I think he's going to be focused and ready to play. And, I mean, Bills Mafia, let's go.
I don't know if they're Super Bowl caliber, but I want to see Josh Allen make another huge step and make the divisional round of the playoffs. I really think it's on him to make another big step like he made this year.
I think Josh Allen is my surprise, quarterback last year who actually showed some promise.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what else we got here. Nothing too crazy. Colts Brown should be fun. Talking about the Colts as well. The Colts, Brissett is their guy for this year, right? Mm-hmm. But moving forward, I'm not sure where they're going to be headed in the future. They got a good running back tandem now that's going to lead them through. They still have a lot of building to grow, you think?
Yeah. Oh, good. Another Sunday night football game where Seattle can beat up on the Vikings at home.
Well, here's the thing with the Vikings, right? It is a make-or-break year for Kirk Cousins. Yeah. Now you only have Adam Thielen. They got to get Adam Thielen the ball more.
At least it's
often,
not Monday Night Football. If it was Monday Night Football and I was Kirk Cousins, I'd be like, God dang it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to win tonight.
Look, I get the whole primetime Kirk Cousins thing, but here's the deal. This is the year where he's got to get it done because this Vikings roster is still really, really good.
Yeah.
It's on Kirk to make this work.
Well, I joke about beating up on the Vikings, but to be honest, last year the Seahawks nearly let that one slip away.
Man, see, the Vikings have a good team, man, but Kirk Cousins got to get the ball to Adam Thielen, and Dalvin Cook is just going to absolutely kill teams next year. He's going to have some great games next year. Chargers, Saints, I don't know about the Chargers. I think probably by this point, hopefully we see Herbert. I think we just really want to see Herbert.
I just want him to play once.
Right, and I think the Chargers will be much more interesting once we see Herbert for sure.
Yeah. Saints are getting an awful lot of primetime games, which probably has to do with this being the last season for
Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Sorry, I'm adjusting the lighting.
That's a good Thursday night football game.
Oh yeah, that's a fun one.
Chiefs Bills, I like it. Man. I like it.
That's a really fun one.
No Saints or Seahawks this week. Oh,
here's the thing. I think that this is just going to be a great matchup. It could be a shootout, but I do love the Bills' defense as well.
Yeah.
And I think they could have a fun time chasing around Patrick Mahomes. It could be a really fun game.
Bills' defense, and this will probably be a game that I see us really talking about come that week, really breaking down, seeing what's going to happen. I feel like we'll have an interesting time post-game talking about it.
Right.
But I really see the Bills kind of going for more of a of a pressure-based defense against the Chiefs, kind of really forcing Mahomes to make throws he's not going to want to make, not letting him run downfield, really just making him stay in the pocket, because that's what I think a lot of teams need to do. And I think it's a good matchup. I think Bills versus Chiefs this year, those two teams are well matched against each other.
It's gonna be a great Thursday night game. This could be the game where people afterwards, if your thought process about them potentially being a Super Bowl team, if they can play well against the Chiefs and win by like 10, maybe 7, like 14, we could definitely be talking about the Bills being a real contender if they find a way to win this one.
Yep.
All right, the Sunday slate looks like this. We got Packers-Bucks in Tampa Bay. That's fun.
Interesting.
That's fun, man. Because, I mean, Aaron Rodgers against Tom Brady is always like a really fun, classic matchup. Now in a new sort of era with Brady there, but this could be really, really interesting and really, really fun. What's your expectation for that game?
My game for the week.
All right.
So to finish up your Packers-Bucks expectations of the game, I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be kind of like the usual. Packers, Buccaneers, it's nice because it'll actually be for once when you have Packers versus Buccaneers. I think it'll be a actually competitive game. Because usually that's not a competitive game in the past. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. Now, my game I'm watching is Browns-Steelers, just because it's the first time that they're facing off after the
second time.
The second time they faced off, but like it's still there, dude. Like the animosity is still gonna be there. It's gonna be really bristling.
Hot and heavy, man.
Hot and heavy. Maybe someone will throw a helmet. I don't know.
I hope not.
I'm sure the pregame video package will have some nonsense about swinging helmets or something.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, CBS, NFL Today, they're going to open the show with that week.
You'll probably have Cowherd being like, there was nothing wrong with the Steelers.
Yeah. I don't know. It should be really, really fun, though. I'm excited to see how the media is going to portray that. It's going to be really fun. So those Rams, Niners, again, NFC West matchups are always fun, always interesting, always competitive. There's a reason why that's a Sunday night game.
I'll be watching it because it's Sunday night and it's football, but like...
You're not high on the Rams this year, are you?
I'm not. I'm really not. Like, first of all, I have no idea what they're doing with their organization right now.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, as much as I hate to say it, the 49ers are... They're hard to beat. Like, the Seahawks know how hard to beat. Like, the one time we beat them last year, we literally had to win on a freaking, like, crazy kick.
Right.
Like, and we had to have the football gods have a kick miss.
Yeah. The Rams, I think your feeling about the Rams is the same as their new logo. You're just like, I don't know.
I'm just like, okay.
Seeing their new logo is going to trip me out all year long.
Yeah.
It honestly will. Cardinals, Cowboys. One thing we didn't talk about with the Cowboys, and we didn't talk about this even in the draft show. You got Dak Prescott, you got Zeke, you got Amari Cooper, and then you got CeeDee Lamb. This offense should be electric.
On paper.
It should be electric.
But they've had an electric offense the last, 3 years.
And it hasn't really worked out. Yeah.
They got themselves, one Super Bowl, one winning in the playoffs against a crappy Seahawks team?
Yeah, I mean,
good for you.
I'm serious. Defensively has always been their biggest issue. Remember a couple years ago, they had a really good defense, but a really bad offense? Yeah. I mean, this is the year where they can certainly have both. Leighton Vander Esch is going to be healthy. Yeah. They can have both and being competitive, but man, Dak and Mike McCarthy, they got to get this to work.
I have a feeling though that Dak hasn't signed his contract, right?
It's franchise tagged, 1 year, $35 million.
Dak's out of there after this year, I think.
You really think so?
I think Dak's done. Just because think about it, he was so solidly refusing to sign a contract that they had to use their franchise tag. Yeah. I don't think they're going to get it done. And that's why they have to get it done this year, because they're not going to get a good quarterback. Like,
here's the problem. Here's what I'm going to be upset about. And if I was a Cowboys fan, I'd be upset about this.
I'd be shaking in my boots.
If Dak doesn't get a contract extension and he ends up either getting franchise tagged again or being let go, you realize that instead of having Byron Jones and a rookie quarterback who maybe would have been, let's say, Jordan Love or something of that nature, you have nobody. You don't have a quarterback. You don't have Byron Jones, who left for the Dolphins, I believe, right? So it's like, I would be upset. Like, at this point, they have to get the deal done, because losing Byron Jones pissed you off enough. If they have to pay Dak a bunch of money and you might even lose Amari Cooper, like, oh my God.
And you also have to start questioning, is Dak really worth the money?
Is he worth $35 million to you?
What has he really done?
Is he worth $35 million to you and losing Byron Jones? No.
No. He is not worth franchise tagging him 2 years in a row. Not
Franchise tagging him 2 years in a row is going to be like $40+ million. I don't want to deal with that.
Any day of the week. There are very little quarterbacks in the league that would be worth franchise tagging. Because you know why? Because if you have to franchise tag someone, you already have a problem.
Do you remember the Kirk Cousins where they franchise tagged him for like 3 freaking years straight?
Yes.
If that happens to Dak, I'm not going to be happy.
Well,
it's just a brutal situation. If you look at the whole scope, it's just brutal.
I mean, if I was Dak and they were like, we'll just franchise tag you year after year, I'd be just like, bet.
I'm making like $60 million.
I would have so much respect for him if he just went, if he like said the equivalent of bet. Just like, do it. I'll take your money. Like, if you want to pay me way more than you'd be paying me anyway.
All right, Giants, Eagles. Ugh.
Right? That's just a lazy game.
Oh, my God. I don't know what to do with the Giants, man. They got to put it together. They still have a lot of team building to do, man.
Like, my thing about the Giants is the Giants for me are my, like, cute little gem of a team. Like, your nice little rock. You have your nice little, like, ruby or opal or whatever, and you take it out of your pocket every now and then and you look at it and you're like, oh, that's cute. Like, they have a good quarterback. They have a good, like, they have some good pieces, but they never really take the time to put the glue in between the pieces to put them together.
Especially with the offensive line, which has been brutal for the last 2 years.
Bothers me because they literally found a gem of a quarterback in the draft,
which no one thought would be a gem.
And I'll be honest, I was flabbergasted. But at least
we were all flabbergasted. We were all wrong.
At least the Giants took a lineman.
Yeah.
Like, at least they made some progress in their drafting.
And I really like Andrew Thomas. And they got McKinney too. Like, come on, man. McKinney and Peppers in the back end. Like,
yeah. But yeah, I got Eagles over Giants in this game.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. The Giants still have a lot more building left to do.
I think this week
Steelers-Ravens we'll get to in their future matchup. But Seahawks-Cardinals obviously going to be great. Panthers-Saints. Teddy Bridgewater going back to New Orleans.
So here's my problem with Seahawks-Cardinals, right? You can never know who's going to win those games in the last couple of years because there always is something about them that are just insane.
Is that every NFC West game, like the last 3 years?
Well,
it doesn't matter if it's a Seahawks game. It's like almost every NFC West game. You're like, what is this?
Well, you could say anybody who played the Cardinals last year should have feared for their lives.
And now they have
They
Hopkins.
barely got out of there with a win. And I think the Cardinals will add 2 or 3 dubs just because of having Hopkins.
Oh, my gosh. Let's see. Actually, let's talk about the Broncos as well with Drew Lock. Let's go about that a little farther. I've been high on Drew Lock, and now they got all those weapons there. What do you think they've done well? I mean, they had an excellent draft, and we didn't really talk about it too much, but what do you think they've done well this offseason?
Well, ironically, I think haven't changed much with the team, which I think is a good thing because even though they didn't get that many wins, a lot of teams have the the urge to just change so much. And I think they've done a good job keeping it.
Right. And with all those weapons offensively, they clearly want to give the best to Drew Lock after missing on a guy like Paxton Lynch. I think they're like, we got to make this work. So let's just build the offense and get this to work. Defense is fine. Let's build the offense.
Yeah.
We got Bucks Raiders in Vegas. That's a fun Vegas night out on Sunday Night Football, but we already kind of went through those teams. Bears Rams as a Monday night game isn't very great either. Bucks Raiders should be fun, but Bears Rams isn't that interesting. Let's see. Let's go to week 8 now. We're trucking along. Falcons Panthers. Christian McCaffrey, right? Christian signed a huge deal. What are your expectations for him? Do you expect him to take a massive step forward like he did this or last season now?
Yeah, I mean, Christian McCaffrey to me is arguably the best running back in the league.
Yeah. He's definitely one or two.
He's definitely the most versatile running back in the league.
Yeah.
He's pretty much close to impossible to take down when he gets up to full speed.
Yeah.
He could catch the ball. He's like a tight end who's a running back, honestly.
Almost, yeah.
And it's unfair. Like it actually is. I've had this thought sometimes watching him play where I'm like, he should have to come in, have to show that he's eligible receiver whenever he comes in as catching
he's
the
like
ball.
A left tackle.
It's ridiculous. The dude's huge and he runs the ball like a Mack truck. My God, it's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's my opinion of him. He's also an insanely good fantasy football player.
Oh, of course. He's going to be drafted number 1 in every league, and if you don't draft the number 1, what are you doing?
What are you doing, yeah.
We got Niners Seahawks here. Not the Sunday night game, unfortunately, but still very exciting to see that on the schedule here. Kind of went through most of the teams here. Actually, let's get to the Jaguars as well. Gardner Minshew, what do you expect from him?
I think just more of what he was doing last year towards the end, which was showing good things and then showing bad things. But hopefully he'll show more good than bad this year.
Yep.
I think he had some really good games. Yes, I'll be honest. I'm a homer for him because I had him on my fantasy football team last year.
Washington State.
Each week I was like, let's go, Minshew. You give me all those touchdowns. Woot, woot. And then he finally fell off, and I was like, okay, goodbye.
He got injured too before he fell off as well. Yeah. Shout out to Washington State. I know we're a UW thing, but shout out there.
Yeah.
Bucks Giants is a Monday night game. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What?
That's
yeah.
Week
9 Packers Niners to open the week. That's solid. That's solid.
Packers. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't like this.
Oh,
Last
man.
time we played you destroyed us.
Oh, man. So here's the thing. Seahawks Bills is on the schedule as well here. Cold weather. It's going to be cold as heck.
Seahawks don't care.
It's going to be insane. That game's going to be fun. Ravens Colts should be fun.
You know what I just realized? Didn't the Bills used to play indoors?
I think they did.
And now they play outdoors. Because I remember literally we went you know what it was? The game before we traded for Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
Was in 2010. We went to Buffalo. We beat up on the Bills. We came home. We traded for Marshawn Lynch. Literally. No, I think he even came
on the Bills.
Yeah, I think we traded for him when we were there, and he flew back with the Seahawks.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
But, they played indoors, and now for some reason they play outdoors. And I'm like...
I can't confirm that. I have to look it up, but still.
Yeah, that'll be a good game. I think that might be my game of the week.
Is there a chance that we'll see Tua next year?
Yeah.
We're at week, 9? Are we going to see him 12 or 13?
Well, depending on how they're playing. if they're out of it by week 9, I could see them putting Tua in.
Right, which they probably will be.
Yeah.
We got Saints Bucks again, which should be
This
great.
Dolphins Cardinals game could be an irrelevant.
You good?
Yeah.
Mic cut off there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I said it could be an irrelevancy game.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think if we see Tua, though, it should be fun. Saints Bucks again. Patriots Jets. Whatever, honestly.
That's just another game of, can the Jets finally get their win on the Patriots?
Bro, what's up with Monday night schedules every year? Like, they're bad. Like, last year was probably one of their best ones ever, just because the games are pretty good.
There's been some good games on this list so far.
Yeah. Some of the Monday night games are just strange.
Yeah.
But Sunday night and Thursday.
That Seahawks 49ers game was insane.
Yeah.
Colts Titans
again, AFC South matchup.
We're getting a lot of repeats now.
Right, we're getting through it. So we're going to go through these a little bit quickly. Niners Saints, though.
That's going to be good. That's going to be good. You're going to have rematch. Some salty Saints after having like 5 of their players getting trucked by friggin' Hulk Hogan looking tight end, and then having a flag called because one of the players grabbed his face mask and threw him into the ground. I was watching that game. I was like, you got to be kidding me, Saints. Like, come on, man.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, I have another question looking at this, because this is one of my first times like really closely looking at the schedule. Why is it that the networks think that the Patriots are still the Patriots?
Like, they're the Patriots.
Why Ravens Patriots?
Look, until the Patriots show that they're not the Patriots anymore, they're just
the network's just going to put them on.
And, like, if this was last year, I would be like, oh, hell yeah, Ravens, Pats, let's go. But, like, this year I'm like, I don't know.
Niners, Saints would have made more sense here.
Jared Stidham throwing the ball to the Ravens secondary. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm hoping N'Keal Harry breaks out next year. I'm hoping, man. He was really buried on the depth chart last year.
Sure, yeah.
If I want to mention one player. But I hope he does kind of pop with Stidham. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Vikings, Bears. We got a lot of chances for Kirk Cousins to break that Monday night streak. I hope so, man. I hope so. I think we all just want Kirk to win a Monday night game.
Yeah, just
Cardinals, Seahawks, Thursday football.
Night, that'll be boring as usual.
It's gonna be pretty fun.
Eagles, Browns, Pats, Texans. Cowboys, Vikings. That'll be interesting.
Chiefs, Raiders. Man, Raiders in Vegas. Everyone wants to party in Vegas on Sunday or Monday night.
Raiders are only getting all these prime time because of their damn new stadium.
Yeah. Rams, Bucks should be fun.
Rams, Bucks. Man, if the Rams were good, I would be hyped for that one.
They might still be pretty good. And that Monday night matchup.
Surprise me.
Here's the thing. This could be a matchup where the Rams are in a position to like take themselves out or put themselves in the playoffs with this game. So that could be quite interesting. All right. I think we're getting close to the Thanksgiving games now, are we? Yes, we are.
This is the Thanksgiving games.
This is
Texans,
the Thanksgiving
Lions, Redskins, Cowboys, Ravens, Steelers. Interesting.
Okay. Here's my reaction to every Thanksgiving game slate for the last 3 years.
Okay.
Meh. This is meh. It's okay. Like, it's not special.
This is my reaction for the last 10 years. It always goes the same way as a UFC fight card. Prelims. No, it's prelims, main fight.
Early prelims, main fight.
You have Texans, Lions, which is the early prelims, Redskins, Cowboys, which is like prelims, and then Ravens, Steelers, which is the fight.
You know what I remember about Ravens, Steelers, and this got pointed out, a bunch of people pointed this out on Twitter. Do you remember the last time the Ravens and the Steelers played on Thanksgiving?
No.
Mike Tomlin put his foot out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And afterwards, he was like, I don't know why I did it. So here's the question. Are we going to have a Thanksgiving Day special post-game show?
I don't think so. It's Thanksgiving.
We can do a Zoom thing. I don't know.
Probably could. I don't know.
Just hop on, do a short little.
Hop on while we're eating turkey.
Do a little post Thanksgiving like for the Ravens Steelers game. Be like, well, that was interesting.
I'm down for it, like 11 a.m. or 11 p.m.
I'm down football.
For it. We could do it. Absolutely. We could honestly do it for some Sundays too. But yeah, Ravens Steelers. Are you as excited for the rivalry as you used to be?
It's Thanksgiving Day football. Like, I don't really care who's playing.
Right.
But like, I'm gonna watch it.
I'm talking about the rivalry in general, though. Are you like as excited about it?
No, they haven't played each other like in so long that I'm like, why do I care?
Is this a make or break year for Dwayne Haskins?
No, I don't. If it is, that's unfair to him.
Right.
He's like, he didn't get a fair shot last year, and it's raining outside.
Yes, it is starting to rain.
I literally am like sitting in my basement and I can hear the rain hitting the roof through a vent.
So yeah,
that's gonna be a super random like insert to this podcast.
You realize that me and Shane always rant about the weather? Like we always have like a real like random weather segment.
That's funny.
It's either you guys out in the studio doing something like outside and we comment on it, or it's like pouring rain and feeling like a night show.
See, I'm gonna imagine like in the winter when it's like snowing and Shane's like, I hate this.
I think it's gonna be weird doing a snow show.
Oh my god.
We get to it. Yeah, but I think Dwayne Haskins and Ron Rivera, like they gotta make that work for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the Sunday games.
Chiefs
Bucks. Oh,
Bears Packers is
rivalry game.
Lame.
Rivalry. But again,
I thought the Packers always played on Thanksgiving.
No, it's the Cowboys and the Lions every year.
Okay.
They always get the early window.
You know what I think it is? I think it's usually that the Bears and the Packers are usually the Sunday, either the Sunday or the Monday game.
Sometimes they do Thursday too.
Yeah.
Once in a while. But yeah, you're not excited about the rivalry anymore either, are you?
I mean, they're bad. Like, Bears are bad, the Packers are okay.
The Packers have a lot of work to do.
Like at one point that rivalry was insane.
Right.
Ooh, oh come on. The Seahawks have to go to Eagles and freeze their little Seahawks tails off. Whatever, fine. Last time we went to the Eagles, everyone was like, "Oh, Eagles are gonna be so great. They just won the Super Bowl," and we were like, "Okay."
I mean, I think it's a really fun Monday nighter, though. I think as a Monday nighter,
because like the narrative will be Seahawks went to the Eagles, they beat them last time. They did it pretty soundly. That the Eagles were bad sports, and they were like booing and throwing stuff, and
it should be pretty fun.
The Seahawks were good winners, and the Eagles were just a bunch of babies.
I really do appreciate the Philly crowd, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but like, come on, have a little bit of.
Here's what I'll say. I think it's a like quintessential game in prime time. Seahawks Eagles.
Oh yeah.
It's always a really fun one.
At least it's not Jaguars whose fans literally threw stuff at, and grabbed the Seahawks and.
Yeah. So Chiefs Bucks though, this is one that I think is pretty high up on our list as games to watch. This is gonna be crazy.
It's interesting that it's the only 425 slot for CBS that week.
Right. I mean, the 425, 405 slots are always really strange anyway.
So here's the interesting thing for me. When you flip over to the next week, guess what's on that week well?
Let's look. Week 13.
Les Masters. I believe.
Right. I believe the Masters are also on that week. Oh, my goodness. How is that going to work?
Yes, the Masters will begin on the 12th and end on the 15th.
Okay, so let's leave the Masters because we're on December 3rd at this point.
Yeah,
so let's get to it when we get to it. Cowboys Ravens again. Cowboys always get in the primetime games because they're the Cowboys and they get the best ratings.
Which is so dumb because they're not America's team.
Television ratings prove anything that they probably still are.
I think Eagles Packers will be good.
Broncos Chiefs might not be too bad either.
I think Broncos Chiefs could be a game that shows that the Broncos could be like.
Yeah.
If the Broncos can play well, it kind of shows that in a couple years they could be really good.
You know what we're kind of pinpointing with the Chiefs throughout this entire podcast is that the team that wins the Super Bowl always has like a monkey on their back almost. They're always 100%. Like the team that everyone wants to take down.
They're the benchmark. Like it was the same with the Seahawks, which was why it was so impressive that they went back to the Super Bowl the year they did when they won it.
And the Patriots all those years as well, right? So it's Bills Niners Monday night.
Ooh.
Again, we're high on the Bills here. We are.
Yeah.
We are pretty high on the Bills.
we do not throw our punches when we like a team.
Yeah, I think all these Bills matchups that we're kind of highlighting, these are going to be really, really fun. And the Niners.
Let's hope by the time we get to this week, we're not like, well, we really stuck our foot in our mouth during our season preview.
During our schedule release special.
Yeah.
All right, week 14. So Masters is what, the 12th?
This is the week. The Masters are the week after this.
Oh, okay. So. Yeah.
Okay, so
Patriots, Rams, Patriots again. Thursday night football.
Seahawks.
Colts, Raiders should be fun. Saints,
Eagles. I think that's probably the best game of the week.
Steelers, Bills. Bills are getting good games. Bills are getting good
Network
games.
must really like the Bills. I remember there was one year where the year the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl and won, we had something like 8 primetime games or something.
You remember the Browns last year with all their primetime games?
Yeah, and
that's what's happening with the Bills. That's what's happening with the Bills, except we expect them to win a good amount. Right. But that's how the networks are. Like, here's an underrated team that we want to slid in there.
That looks like they're going to be good.
Yeah.
And the Monday night game is
Speaking of the Browns, Ravens, Browns. The last time these guys played on Monday night, Jacoby Jones got a 96-yard kick. Actually, no, it wasn't. The Browns got a kick return for touchdown, I believe, to win the game. I believe that was the last time Monday nighter.
Now,
Masters weekend in week 15. Also, here's another pretty crazy part about this. We have a bunch of things that say TBD on the schedule. You know why?
No. We passed Masters weekend. Masters is in November.
Oh, yeah, that's in November. Okay, let's get to
back.
What week would that be?
Oh, that would be week 9, I think.
I think it would be week 9, yeah. It would be week 10.
Yeah, week 10.
Week 10, yeah. Sorry, it's loading. But yeah, let's get to the Masters. It's going to be weird.
A lot of games on that
a lot
day
of stuff.
For some reason. And yeah, this week. Look, CBS, all in their late slot.
Oh,
however,
you know why? You know why? Because they have all the 10 o'clock games are on Fox.
Yeah.
So that they put it over.
Yeah, but here's the problem. What time would the Masters end?
They're going to start earlier. They're going to start at 6 a.m. Eastern.
Oh God.
PM. Pacific. They're going to start at 6 because of weather concerns. So CBS is like.
I'm getting up at 6 to watch.
Well, here's the thing: the Masters are going to end at noon that day, probably. So that's why Fox is all the 10 o'clock schedule. Okay. We didn't notice that.
Well, so actually, what am I saying? I'm not gonna. When I say I'm not going to get up at 6, I'm like, wait, I'll be already up early for football. So
yeah,
whatever.
And we also, speaking of which, no London games, no Mexico City games. So that's also part of the schedule as well. Going back to week 15, let me read the prompt here as well.
TBD?
In each of weeks 15 and 16, up to 3 of the 5 designated matchups that are TBD will be played on Saturday, with the remainder being played on Sunday.
Right. So did they not pick the games that would be played on the Saturday by then?
They only do it based on playoff seedings and stuff.
Okay.
So all of these TBD games are based off playoff seeding. So we don't know until, and also obviously Sunday Night Football is going to get some flex games. Obviously. Speaking of the TBD games, which TBD game do you think we'll see on NFL Network and I believe Fox, but it might be just NFL Network?
Which is going to be the shitty game?
No, which are probably going to be the 3 games. What do you think might be the triple header?
Bills, Broncos, Texans, Colts, Lions, Titans.
Yeah, I throw just Rams in there potentially as well. As for the rest of the schedule, so we got Chargers Raiders to open the week. Hopefully we see Herbert at this moment. Again, party in Vegas, basically.
Yeah.
Let's see. For the other 1 o'clock games, nothing too crazy here. Buccaneers Falcons should be fun. Chiefs Saints is 4:25 on CBS. That should be pretty good.
49ers Cowboys is the
49ers Cowboys. And the Monday night Steelers Bengals. So Burrow up against the Steelers. Should be quite interesting.
Week 16.
Week 16, this is the Christmas Day special, Friday, December 25th.
Feliz Navidad.
Vikings Saints on Christmas Day. So we got NBA, hopefully.
I just realized something, Robert.
Vikings Saints. Yes.
Next year, it will finally happen. It will be the one time every every 10, 12 years where I have NFL football fall on my birthday.
Oh, awesome.
Because it's the 27th this year, and my birthday's the 28th, which means next year it will be the 28th for football.
Monday Night Football, right?
I just had that thought, and I love it.
Vikings Saints. They're honestly perfect game for a Thursday night.
And for Christmas.
Here's what I'll say.
Nobody cares.
Why don't they just put a game on? Why don't they just put a triple header on the 24th on Thursday and a triple header on the 25th on Friday? And then same with Saturday.
Here's the real question, Robert. And this kind of is something we can talk about maybe at the end, but I'm just going to put the question out there. What happens if the NFL is competing with the NBA starting their season on Christmas?
Yeah, that's going to be quite interesting. I mean, honestly, I'm still going to watch Vikings Saints over a good portion of the NBA games. And I mean, the problem is they're probably going to schedule Lakers Clippers at this time slot.
Mind blown. We're just going to be sitting there with split screens, just being like, "Have you seen the scores?" I'm just gonna be sitting there with my Raptors hat on, just so stupid. Raptors got beat by the freaking Pelicans.
All right, Saturday schedule, potential matchups. What's your pick for the triple header there?
Fox Lions.
I'll go Niners Cardinals as well.
And
Niners
maybe
Cardinals.
Broncos Chargers.
Yeah, I think Niners Cardinals has to be. I think it will.
Okay.
In terms of the 1 o'clock games, Falcons Chiefs should be fun. Titans Packers. Now Titans again. Here's the thing. Titans. Derrick Henry is probably going to take a big step forward, but Ryan Tannehill has to continue to prove himself because there's still doubters out there about the contract.
I don't know why doubters would be out there. The man showed he's good.
Right. Now he's got the big contract. He's really got to prove himself this year for
Eagles,
sure.
Cowboys, that's
not too bad. Interdivision. Honestly, consider.
Oh my God, Bills Pats twice? Or it's just one.
Why is that? Why is that TBD? Is there a reason why? Let's see. I don't know why that's TBD. I think that's a glitch. But Bills Patriots.
You know what it might be? What if they're trying to figure out with the NBA what they're doing?
There might be that too, yeah.
If they're we can't have Monday Night Football on ESPN that week.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they're going to flip it a little bit. Yeah.
Or maybe they'll put it to ABC or something.
Yeah, maybe. That's a good thought for sure. Yeah.
I think that's it. Or no, there's one more week after this.
We are on week 17. So week 17 again. Also, I want to say something about the Eagles-Cowboys matchup. Considering the NFC East, that matchup is probably going to be quite interesting just to see who makes it out of the doghouse that is the NFC East.
And here we have a new year, ladies and gentlemen, the first game of the year of 2021.
I mean, we can't go too deep in the schedule because we obviously don't know what the Sunday night game is going to be. And a lot of teams will rest players, so this is not the most interesting week. But we have Seahawks-Niners in here.
Seahawks-Niners.
I could see Seahawks Niners being put as the Sunday Night Football game.
Again, back-to-back years, that'd be fun.
To end the season with, like, especially if they both were in a situation where it's like one guy wins, they get in, one wins, they do another position.
Right. Because they're both going to make the playoffs.
Right,
it's just seeding.
I don't know. Raiders, Broncos could be interesting. Chargers, Chiefs, Vikings, Lions.
Yeah. All right, let's go through some individual schedules before we head out today. Obviously, went through the actual primetime games. Let's see. Can I get this to work? I think it's glitching out a little bit for some reason. I can't open the teams. Let's see. I want to start with the Seahawks schedule for this upcoming year. Let's see if this will load. Let's see. So, yeah. So honestly, the NFC West is going to be really interesting this year. So here's the preseason schedule, which is also TBD at this point. We're not going to have the preseason. So we have Falcons, Patriots, Cowboys, Dolphins, Vikings, bye week in week 6, Cardinals, Niners, Bills, Rams, Cardinals, Eagles, Giants, Jets, Redskins, Rams, Niners. Not the hardest schedule in the world.
13-3.
Yeah, probably around there. 10, 11, 12 wins, I think. I'm not going to really make too many predictions because I think we're a bit too early. But yeah.
I think if they don't, I'll be like happy if they get 11, 12, 13 wins, but anything below that is frankly a lost season.
Yeah. I think you have a good reason to believe that would be that would be a lost season for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Trying to load this up. I want to look at the Buccaneers schedule as well. Buck schedule, Tom Brady and the boys are at it. Gronk being there, I wonder what impact he's going to have. Him and OJ Howard, man, as I said before, Bruce Arians, they got to sort of figure that out for sure. Okay, regular season.
The Bucs do have a pretty tough schedule.
Oh yeah, for sure. Saints, Panthers, Broncos, Chargers, Bears, Packers, Raiders, Giants, Saints. Let's be honest. This division that the Bucs are in is going to be insane. The NFC South's going to be insane. Rams, Chiefs, obviously, Vikings, Falcons, Lions, and the Falcons again. Yeah, the NFC South as a whole is going to be really interesting. But what are your thoughts on the Bucs going into this season, man?
I mean, on paper, they should be pretty good, but I'm not going to really make any decisions about them until I see the first game of the season.
Yeah.
But
get a good idea of where they're at. Any other teams you want to take a peek at?
I've looked at a lot of the teams, and like, it's kind of the usual, like, teams that had harder schedules last year have easier ones this year. I think I'm kind of interested in the Jets schedule.
Yeah. Maybe we can take a peek at the Bills as well. I do want to look at the champs, the Chiefs. Chiefs have a tough one here, man. They do. They have a really interesting one. I mean, it's not necessarily entirely tough, but it's certainly challenging, obviously, winning the Super Bowl. Because you're going to get, as we said, every team's best shot. You said the Jets schedule?
Yeah.
So the Jets schedule, let's look at the Jets. Oh, this is preseason. Okay. Open with the Bills, Niners, Colts, Broncos, Cardinals, Chargers, Bills, Chiefs, Patriots, Dolphins, bye week in week 11, Dolphins again, so back-to-back weeks with the Fins, minus the bye week, of course, and then the Raiders, the Seahawks, the Rams, the Browns, and the Patriots.
That's a rough schedule.
It's okay. I mean, I think they're going to have a tough time early, and then late they're going to have a good shot to make me get a run in for sure.
Yeah.
Do you want to look at the Bills' schedule?
If you want to.
Yeah, let's look at them really quick. Buffalo Bills. Oh, this is just the teams that they're playing, not the schedule. But either way, it doesn't look terrible. I mean, the bunch of primetime games, of course, but as you're talking about, they're going to be a fun team. All right, so as a whole, what are your thoughts on the schedule before we get out of here?
I think it's going to be a fun season.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think the schedule is fun. There's a lot of interesting primetime games. I'm just excited for sports, really, man. I'm going to be, I think, honestly, to me, when we see football back, it's in a way it's going to be a sign a little bit that things are getting a little bit back to normal.
Yeah, for sure. So, I think the NFL is determined to be that league as well.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for our schedule release special. Thank you all for joining us. Brandon, thanks for joining me. Shane will be back with us probably Saturday, right? Saturday we're going to do a UFC 249 post-show as we're getting ready for some sports, man. It should be a great card. We will not record tomorrow, but we will be on Saturday having fun and then back to our normal schedule on Friday unless things change. But all right, so that's pretty much it for this show. You can catch us as always, Spotify, YouTube, Mixcloud as always. Thank you again, Brandon, for joining me.
Yeah.
And we will see you all on Saturday. Have a great day, everybody.